Chelsea escaped from the Riverside with a draw last week. Manchester United visit in a fortnight. And today, Arsenal's requirement is straightforward. A win, something achieved by only one of the last 36 sides to provide league opposition here. Middlesbrough gave Chelsea a thorough physical examination, but the loss through injury of Gascoigne, Fester and O'Neill has rather limited Brian Robson's options. Robbie Stockdale returns from suspension to be faced by Mark Overmars. Gary Pallister will presumably be united with his manager in trying to repel Arsenal. And he won't have to face Dennis Bergkamp, who's succumbed to a groin injury. Anelka comes back to partner Kanu. Lee Dixon has recovered from ankle trouble. And Martin Keown's suspension means the back four is the original model. Steve Bold's presence bridges a decade neatly. 10 years ago, almost to the day, the same quartet helped Arsenal to victory at Ayresome Park on the way to the 1989 title. Middlesbrough possibly heading for their best post-war finish since the days of great players like Wilf Mannion, who'll be 81 next month. Referee Mike Riley gets Arsenal's 50th game of the season underway. In the words of Arsene Wenger, it's the most important match they've played so far, and they'll no doubt be looking to build on their rock-solid defensive record. They have the best defence in European club football, only 14 goals conceded. And Brian Deane is one of only 2 players to have scored a first-half goal against Arsenal in the Premiership this season so far, in the 1-1 draw at Highbury before Christmas. Kanu. Stockdale is the covering defender for Middlesbrough. And Pallister. Dean. Vieira to Anelka. Tackle came in from Pallister. Petit. What an untidy start to this match. Vieira. To impose some sort of order onto proceedings, and here's Anelka, who went down under the challenge of Steve Vickers, and it's a penalty. Inside 2.5 minutes. Mike Riley is forced to point to the spot for the foul on Nicola Anelka. He crept in across Steve Vickers, who lunged and didn't get the ball. Normally, Dennis Bergkamp would take the penalty, but of course he's not playing. And he's failed with 4 of his last 6. So it's down to Mark Overmars, who is successful. Wasn't, in all honesty, the best penalty he'll ever strike. But the decision didn't bring too many arguments. Rather close to the centre with the kick, Overmars, but goalkeeper Schwarzer had gone the other way. Bold. Then no free kick. Here's Mustoe. Good close control. Dean back to Mustoe again. The block was by Bold. That was better from Middlesbrough. Gordon. Bounced nicely for Maddison. Now Rickard, that's a lovely turn away from Adams, and still Rickard, and it took the flailing legs of Seaman to hold the Colombian. Certainly unorthodox from Rickard. Yes, even a defender of Tony Adams' calibre was left floundering. Middlesbrough's first corner kick, taken by Townsend. And the header straight at Seaman. Brian Deane all on his own. But directly into the centre of the goal. Kanu. Overmars pointing. One or two Middlesbrough defenders rather uncertain as to where to go with him. Vieira. Kanu. well in by Cooper, but he twisted awkwardly after he'd made the tackle, and the referee is urgently seeking some attention. It was there, it was the landing that was the problem. They're restarting with a drop ball. Colin Cooper back to full fitness, it seems. Cooper waiting for the bounce. Parler did appear to jump into him. Cooper is not moving all that freely since his injury. Something that Arsenal might try and exploit. Parler trying to take on two. That was at least one too many. Dean. Vickers. Ricard. Back to Dean. Oh, well struck. Well, whether Seaman misjudged that slightly, whether it was travelling a little more quickly than he thought, or whether there was a late swerve, he was distinctly uncomfortable as he pushed it over the bar. I think it was the pace of the ball. Still, that's academic now. Maddison to take. 6 to aim for. On by Pallister. David Seaman's wake-up call for the afternoon. Brian Robson alongside the Middlesbrough Chief Executive Keith Lamb on the left side of your picture there. The Middlesbrough manager demanded a great degree of physical commitment from his side coming into this game. He believes that's the best way to upset Arsene Wenger's Arsenal. Pallister. Adams. Oh, and this is where they could be caught out, having pushed so far up, because they're so vulnerable to that sort of pass. It's Anelka! 2-0. Middlesbrough overcommitted. And Nicola Anelka breaks a goal-scoring drought that stretches back 7 matches. Classic counter-attack through the legs of Schwarzer. There have been 1 or 2 warning signs for Middlesbrough. They'd pushed further and further forward, and consequently, with the pace of Anelka when he broke, they were left more or less defenceless. Enough to make the manager tear his hair out. A fundamental error. Townsend. Header was by Kinder. T was blocked. Ricard came last off the tee, and a corner. For their own sakes, Middlesbrough require something prior to half-time. Header away by Petit. Here's Dean Gordon, who loves to crack them from distance. What a good save by Seaman. Wasn't a bad shot either, for that matter. That would be Dean Gordon's with some style. Both hands to the ball and pushed away for a corner. Middlesbrough not without hope. Pallister's run was balked. Easy for Seaman. That's the standard we've come to expect from David Seaman. Kind of the fourth official to remind us how many goals we've seen. Maddison. Musto has set off on a jog, but this is Ricard, and the touch may put in Musto. Goalkeeper's come a long way out, and Musto tried to curl it. Wrapped his instep around the ball, and then just hoped that, having beaten Seaman, it would curl inside the post. It didn't quite obey. Middlesbrough have had their chances. Canu. Anelka. For once, Pallister couldn't cut it out. Overmars wants the ball crossed early. That is Overmars. This is Canu! Well, he couldn't miss with his size 15 boots. 3 first-half goals for the reigning champions. The biggest feet in the business have done the trick. Overmars couldn't get there. Kanu, a neat sidestep, and then a whack with that enormous piece of leather. It's tempting to say game over, because no side ever scores 4 against Arsenal. That's not an attitude that Middlesbrough can afford to have. Rickard. They haven't played that badly, Middlesbrough, not going forward at least, but defensively they've been naive. And that's what's cost them on 3 first-half occasions. Nicola Anelka scoring the second of the 3 goals on his return to the side. Mark Overmars put Arsenal on their way inside 3 minutes from the penalty spot. And then Kanu, the Nigerian, in first-half stoppage time, making it a very one-sided half-time scoreline. Well, goal difference could be a factor in the championship race, so Arsenal need to keep going. Theirs is currently inferior to Manchester United's, but only by 3 goals now. The way they played in the latter stages of the first half, that could well be wiped out. And here's Anelka. Middlesbrough split asunder once again. Parler's waiting for the cross. So too is Overmars, who can set himself. Favours his right. And misses. And if there is surprise in the commentator's voice at that, it's because from that sort of distance, and with that sort of time to set up the opportunity, Overmars would usually score. Kanu. Hustling style of running, very difficult to stop. So's this man, Overmars. Vieira left it for Dixon. He felt there was a deflection. The referee doesn't agree and has given a goal kick. I think Dixon hasn't scored for 2.5 years. Interception by Bold. Middlesbrough just beginning to look a little dispirited. For all that they've battered away at the Arsenal defence, they've not taken their opportunities, and Arsenal, by contrast, have been pretty well lethal. This is Anelka. 2 colleagues joining him. Overmars to Vieira. Well, it's brilliant football. It is stunning. And it may well be that Middlesbrough are having a bad day. In fact, an awfully bad day. But Arsenal are playing wonderfully well. Overmars could have scored selflessly. He allowed Vieira the glory. With power to add. Maddison, now Stockdale. Oh. Well, you could watch football for 30 years and not see a finish quite as cheeky as that. Dixon with the cross, and apparently Kanu does this all the time in training, but it's the completion of the nap hand as we approach the hour mark. And today, for Arsenal, anything seems to be possible. Kinder to Dean, seemed to be fouled by Tony Adams. Referee has given the free kick. So a chance for Middlesbrough to at least register in this match. Rickard is standing in a position from where he looks the most likely to strike the ball, but Dean Gordon's in there as well. It is, though, Rickard off the post, Vickers wide. It's not their day. Even the frame of the goal is against them. Nicely taken, and Seaman had given up. Came very quickly back to Vickers. Gordon. Armstrong back to Gordon. No foul by Vieira. He did look round at the referee, I think expecting the whistle, but it didn't come. Vieira. Diawara was marginally offside, but not in an active area of play. This is Kanu. And now it's Anelka. Parler is free. Anelka didn't need him. And Middlesbrough have been hit for 6. Well, he's not been the happiest of players this season, by all accounts, Nicola Anelka, but with a brace of goals today, and his side having scored half a dozen, he's every reason to smile. It was the most emphatic of drives. Middlesbrough sent hither and thither, but Anelka's direction was firmly etched in his mind. Beyond Schwarzer. And this now is Arsenal's biggest ever victory at Middlesbrough. Nelson Vivas has come on for Kanu with 12 minutes to go. What a time to come on. 6-0 up away from home. He's had a good day. And here come Arsenal yet again with Diawara. And Anelka's got a great chance of a hat-trick here. He's all on his own. And Schwarzer made the first block. And Vickers made the second. He'll never come closer to a hat-trick without actually getting one. Middlesbrough's defence was reduced to only 2 men. And both made telling contributions to preventing a 7th goal. He may still get that hat-trick, though. Bold is up. Off the head of Gordon. 10 minutes to go, and a crowd of nearly 35,000 has been reduced inside the Riverside to probably little more than 20. Those that remain are watching a masterclass from Arsenal. Kinder. Free kick given. Townsend over the ball. 5 Middlesbrough colleagues inside the penalty area. And there's Armstrong, and it's in. History will not record this as a great day for Middlesbrough, but at least they've scored. And it's Alan Armstrong's first ever Premiership goal. Won't make too big a dent in what should be joyous Arsenal celebrations at the end. But they don't like conceding goals, Arsenal. Even the visiting supporters celebrating a goal by the home team. Vieira caught in possession. Brian Dean. Free kick has been given. Middlesbrough looking for further consolation. Musto. Dean Gordon. Rickard allowed to turn. Middlesbrough finding a little more joy in these closing moments. Here's the goal scorer, Armstrong. Every Middlesbrough attack becomes an Arsenal attack, and there's no flag. It's Diawara, and the goalkeeper came hurtling out and did just enough to put the striker off. A great sense of surprise that there wasn't an offside flag, but having been allowed to play on, Diawara couldn't retain his composure. Very close. One minute of time to be added on. consummate and captivating in equal measure. Arsenal's biggest ever victory at Middlesbrough. They've hauled their goal difference within one of that of Manchester United. 2 goals apiece for Kanu and for Anelka. The others from Vieira and that very early penalty by Mark Overmars. And they've scored 6 times without their talisman, Dennis Bergkamp. It's a tutorial that will bear repeated viewing, and as a statement of intent with regard to their championship challenge, massively impressive. Those that have remained to the end at the Riverside acclaim the reigning and would-be Premiership champions. This race has a long way still to run. Middlesbrough 1, Arsenal 6.
Arsene, you're on top of the Premiership for the first time this season. Is that something that satisfies you?
Yes, because that was our target before the game, but we just hope it's not the last time. And of course we have played 2 games more than Man United and 1 game more than Chelsea, but at least we take the points, and we played very well, and that's quite positive for the rest of the season. We just have to go from game to game, and our target is of course to get our best out of every game.
We're still getting used to watching you in this country, Kanu, but it seems that you're an entertainer. Is that fair?
For me, I always like to play. I always like to show my skills and show what I can do. And I believe it's not only entertaining, it's also a business. I want to win. So along the line, I have to also show what I can do.
He's a very creative player and very intelligent player, and what he has done today for me was outstanding. Not the goal he scored, but his influence on the game was amazing, and he has shown again that he's a great player.
You're in a rare position, but you played for Arsenal, you played for Manchester United.
Yeah.
Where do you think the title's heading?
After today's performance, you have to ask me that. I just think those two will go very close to the wire now. I know Manchester United got to come here now, and hopefully we can put up a better performance than we did today. But you know, as I say, it's going to go right to the wire. I wouldn't like to choose which way it's going to go.
So you've ducked it?
Yes, I've sat on the fence as normal.
Quite right. Middlesbrough was 7 unbeaten before that. I mean, who could have forecast that sort of scoreline? We were going 0-1 and 1-0 or 0-0 today, weren't we?
We weren't even close, were we? It was a scintillating performance. I mean, they obviously want to keep the pressure on Manchester United, so they wanted to win. But I mean, the whole side was brimming with confidence, the movement, the passing. You know, it could. I mean, it was 6. It could have been even more. And it was just you know, fantastic, and a big boost now really for the running. I mean, almost it was an action replay of the tail end of last season. But of course, they've got to wait and hope that Manchester United slip up.
What was the key to the Arsenal win? What impressed you most?
Well, I think if you go playing a side who's doing well, you've got to get the initiative in midfield. And I don't think it's any coincidence this week with 2 big wins that it's Petit and Vieira back in tandem, and that gives them the control. We've mentioned Petit this season, but this man, Patrick Vieira, I think, you know, it's his all-round game. We know all about him and Petit sitting in front of the back four, making tackles like this and winning the ball. But there's a lot more to their game. You know, early, 5 minutes into the game, little flick over the head of Neil Maddison. Those legs get moving like a piston. He slips it through to Anelka. His pace, he does get clipped. It is a penalty, and they've got that style. This is, you know, the area winning it back in defence. Just watch the movement ahead of him. You got going across him. There is Kanu. Then to his left, Anelka. He releases it, perfectly weighted. Plenty of time then for Anelka to pick his spot. But it's the movement in front of him. And again here, you pick him up, backs up Anelka, releases him. A couple of midfield players there of Middlesbrough alongside him, and you think, well, perhaps he's just admiring these two going forward. But here he is in the penalty area. He's given a shout to Overmars. No one within yards of him, and you know, it's that enthusiasm throughout this. I mean, Nigel Winterburn was overlapping in the last 5 minutes. They were 6-0 up. That's everything about Arsenal.
Bergkamp was missing, but strange to say, he wasn't missed at all today. The front two looked spectacular.
Well, Anelka came back and, you know, reacted very well. He was left out against Wimbledon, and then, you know, Kanu was up front with Bergkamp deep. Today, Anelka was up front, and this man played Bergkamp's role, and he is an entertainer. He's great to watch. He holds up play really well, you know, keeps it close. Everyone's under pressure. And also, when he sees the opportunity, he will run forward. He offers himself up there, and Ray Parlour you know, probably if he'd given it a little bit earlier, he'd have been away. But it's his vision. You know, does he hold on to it? One touch, no. Releases it. The simple ball's on, so give it. And again, he finds this space. Look, he drops deep. All right, Middlesbrough should perhaps pick him up. Drops the old sole of the boot, and there, see you, and the defence. And of course, also, you know, in this situation here out wide, he cuts in, releases Anelka. You know, does he admire it? No, he goes into the penalty area. And again, all right, Dean Gordon reacts slowly, but one touch just sets it up, and you pass it into the goal. You don't have to break the net. And of course, this one is, well, five-a-side goal. They say he does it regularly, but I mean, in slow motion there, that, you know, it's 5-0, and by then the white flag is up, I think, for Middlesbrough. Let's have the final whistle.
That's brilliant stuff. Right, to the other end of the table now, and first it's Charlton, third from bottom, away to...
Whoever would have got the second goal probably would have won the game.
Sue Thurl and Ian Payne with those games. Now the table, Arsenal go top for the first time this season. They're 2 points ahead of Manchester United, who have 2 games in hand. One of those is at Leeds tomorrow, of course. And after scoring 11 this week, Arsenal's goal difference is now only 1 behind United's. Chelsea going to tomorrow's match at Sheffield Wednesday, 5 points off the lead. Forest are relegated from the Premiership for the 3rd time in 7 seasons. Southampton's draw at Derby puts them level on points with Charlton and Blackburn, who meet at the Valley next Saturday. Coventry are not out of the woods yet, but Everton look to be safe. So, gentlemen, how do you see the position at the bottom now?
Well, it's a nice friendly game next week, Charlton against Blackburn. Charlton off the back of 2 bad results and Blackburn beaten today. I've said all along I don't think Blackburn will go down. I'm going to stick with that, not with a great deal of confidence.
Southampton have got a better run in, to be fair. You know, 2 home games and then an away game against Wimbledon, who are struggling. So, but they've got the bad goal difference. So,
but they're playing against teams that are in form. Leicester in form, and Everton in a bit of form. So I mean, we'll leave it to you, Des.
Paha's had that chance today for Southampton. That was costly, that miss, wasn't it? That if they
yeah,
got the 3 points.
I mean, they're away form. You know, today was an ideal opportunity. Get a win, make the most of the failings of the others, but they didn't quite do it.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to go down?
I still think at the moment that Southampton might struggle, but you think Blackburn?
I think Blackburn.
Do you know what? I can't believe that Blackburn are in this situation.
I was surprised at the results.
It's a bad start. A bad start to the season. It's cost them.
Thanks very much. Right, who can be man of the day? We reckon Arsenal's Kanu can. A great performance from him today. Big man, big feet, big smile. Good night.
Take over at the top again, and the Rams made them work for the win.
Parlour. Great movement by Anelka, 1-0 to Arsenal.
We just go from game to game, don't look too much at the others. Of course, we need some good results on our side as well. One or 2 other good results for us, but we know the only thing we can do is to try to play well and to win our games.
So they were back on top, but United still had that game in hand. Chelsea were hanging on. Made the short trip for them to Tottenham, and they again they've run it through the centre. One of them's fatigued.
Burkamp. Anelka goes through the centre. He's away from the defenders. 2-0. That's wrapped it up.
We played great, really as a unit, as a team, and we're sharp, always dangerous, and our passing was good. So what can you say as a manager? You can be happy, and the players gave everything tonight, and wanted really a great desire to win tonight.